The night began as nothing more than a calm drizzle, the kind that makes the city lights shimmer like melted gold. I stood by the window, half asleep, tracing my finger along the glass when the drizzle turned heavier, like the sky was finally breaking down. But it wasn't the sound of rain that startled me. It was the way it spoke. It wasn't thunder. It wasn't wind. It was a whisper, soft but deliberate, curling around my name like it had been waiting years to say it. My heart thumped so loud I could feel it in my ears. The rain whispered again. And this time, I understood the words. I know what you did. At first, I thought it was exhaustion, the kind that bends reality into nightmares. But the voice grew clearer, heavier. As if each drop carried memory instead of water. I leaned closer to the window, my reflection trembling in the glass. My face looked pale, almost transparent. The rain clung to the pane like it wanted to come in. Then it spoke again, in a tone that was not angry, but disappointed. You never told anyone. My blood ran cold. Because the rain wasn't wrong. I hadn't told anyone. I stumbled backward, my breath shallow, heart racing. The storm outside seemed to respond to my fear, roaring louder with every beat of my heart. I shut my eyes, hoping it would stop. But the whispering followed me, through the walls, the air vents, the pipes. It was as if the entire house was breathing secrets back at me. I tried turning on music to drown it out. But the speakers crackled, repeating the same haunting phrase, I remember. That was when I saw the first sign, the condensation on my window spelling words I didn't write. My name, over and over again. Then below it, a single sentence appeared, written as if by invisible fingers, you let it happen. I wanted to scream. But no sound came out. Instead, I grabbed a cloth and wiped the message away. But the letters reappeared, burned into the fog like a scar. Every thunderclap felt like a heartbeat now, syncing with my own. The rain turned violent, slamming against the glass with the force of accusation. I could hear voices within it, familiar ones. A laugh I knew. A cry I once ignored. I ran to shut the curtains. But when I did, I saw something standing in the street. A figure in the storm, head tilted, watching me. It didn't move, didn't flinch, just stood there while the rain slid down its face like melting skin. I whispered to myself that it wasn't real. Just the storm playing tricks. But then the lights flickered. And for one fraction of a second, that figure was inside my reflection. Not outside. Not across the street. Behind me. I turned. But the room was empty, just the soft hum of rain and my own shaking breath. I didn't realize until too late that my reflection hadn't turned with me. The whispers grew louder, overlapping. Until it felt like 1,000 voices crying out from the sky. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. They begged, pleaded, screamed. The sound rattled the furniture, the floorboards groaning as though the house itself wanted to collapse under the weight of my silence. I ran to the front door, desperate to escape. But when I opened it, I found only darkness, and the endless sound of rain whispering my secret. It all came rushing back. That night, years ago. When the rain fell the same way. The night I said nothing when I should have spoken. The night someone fell, someone drowned. And I let the storm cover it up. I thought nature was kind enough to erase the evidence. But nature remembers. The rain never forgets. Tears burned my eyes as I whispered apologies into the wind. But the storm only grew louder, angrier, more alive. I shouted for forgiveness. And for a second, the rain softened, like it was listening. But then, a voice spoke from right behind me. It was calm, human. And yet, not. Forgiveness isn't yours to ask for. I turned slowly. And there it was, the figure from the street. Closer now. Its face shimmered like water, constantly changing, sometimes mine, sometimes theirs. It stepped forward, each footstep echoing like drops in a deep well. You let me die, it whispered. You watched. I tried to speak, to explain. But words felt meaningless against the truth hanging in the air. The figure raised a trembling hand, reaching for me. I stumbled backward, tripping over the wet floor. The water had crept inside the house, forming a pool around my feet. I felt it rising, cold and merciless, dragging at my legs. The rain wasn't just falling, it was coming for me. You can't wash away the past, the voice said. But you can drown in it. I gasped, struggling to stay upright as the water reached my knees. My reflection on the surface wasn't mine anymore, it was theirs, staring up at me with sorrowful eyes. Please, I begged. What do you want from me? The reflection smiled faintly. To remember. Lightning struck. And the world flashed white. I saw the figure vanish, replaced by empty air. The rain stopped all at once, silence filling the space like a held breath. I was soaked, shaking, alone. Or so I thought. Then, from somewhere deep in the walls, came one last whisper, soft, deliberate, final. Now it's your turn. I didn't sleep that night. The storm had ended. But I could still hear the rhythm of rain echoing inside my head. Every creak of the floor sounded like footsteps. Every gust of wind carried a faint, familiar voice. I sat by the window until sunrise, staring at the reflection in the glass. When daylight finally came, I realized the rain had written something new on the window. Just one word. Remember. I wiped it away. But as I did, I noticed something horrifying. My reflection didn't move. It stayed there, smiling faintly, whispering soundlessly as I froze. The light outside dimmed for a moment, though the sun was shining. Now, every time it rains, I hear the whispers again. Softer, closer, always starting with my name. The rain still knows. The rain still remembers. And every drop carries my secret back from the grave I tried to bury it in. Sometimes, late at night, I whisper back, hoping it will finally forgive me. But deep down, I know the truth. The rain never forgives. It only waits. And tonight, as the thunder returns, I can already hear it calling again. I know what you did.